Ever feel like the world of IT is speaking a language you just don't understand?
Like, yeah, you get the gist, but then it's all acronyms and jargon.
Right. APIs, microservices, AI algorithms. It can feel kind of overwhelming.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, today, we're going to do a deep dive into all of that.
We're going to break it down and make it make sense. No computer science degree needed, I promise.
So let's start with maybe the most common one you hear, APIs.
Right, APIs. So API stands for Application Programming Interface.
Okay, but what does that even mean? What does it actually do?
Basically, it's how different software systems talk to each other. They exchange data, communicate.
It's like a translator for different apps
hmm
so they can understand each other?
Yeah, think of it like a universal translator.
Hmm. Okay. I think I'm starting to get it.
So like a really good example is when you're online shopping.
Like Amazon or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're checking it and you see those options to pay with like PayPal or Apple Pay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I use those all the time.
So that smooth integration, that's all thanks to APIs.
So those payment systems are like talking to the shopping website in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Behind the scenes, it's the APIs letting them securely share information, make the transaction happen.
Wow. It's like an invisible handshake between the websites.
You got it. And, there are different types of APIs too, like REST and SOAP.
Oh, so it's not just like one kind of API for everything.
Nope. REST is more popular for like web apps because it's simpler and flexible.
Okay.
But then you have SAP, which is more common in those big enterprise systems where security is really important.
Gotcha. So the developers choose which API makes sense for what they're building.
Yeah, it all depends on what they're trying to achieve.
All right. Moving on, let's talk microservices. What are they?
So you can imagine like a giant Lego castle.
Okay, I love Legos.
Right. And it's built from all these individual blocks. Each block has its own specific function, but they all work together to create the whole structure. That's kind of how microservices work.
So instead of building one massive application, it's broken down into smaller independent pieces.
Precisely.
And each piece, has its own function and responsibility.
And the cool thing is you can develop and update each piece independently without messing with the whole system.
Oh, that's pretty smart. It's like if you want to change something, you just swap out a Lego block instead of rebuilding the entire castle.
Exactly. So you get a lot of flexibility. And you can scale each part individually too, depending on what you need.
So it's a lot more efficient.
Yeah, you can update things faster, fix bugs easier. It's a big deal in modern software development.
But I guess managing all those different pieces could get kind of complicated, right?
Yeah, that's the trade-off. You got to make sure all those independent services can talk to each other properly. You need good tools to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so there are challenges, but the benefits seem to outweigh them for a lot of companies.
For sure.
All right, time for our last topic, AI algorithms. This one feels a little intimidating. What are we even talking about here?
So AI algorithms are basically like recipes for smart machines.
Recipes. Okay, that's a new one. Explain the recipe thing.
Think of it like this. Let's say you have a recommendation algorithm like on Netflix or Spotify.
Yeah, I get a lot of movie recommendations.
Right, so the algorithm takes in all this data about what you watch, what you like, even what other people with similar tastes are watching. And based on all that, it predicts what else you might enjoy.
So the data is like the ingredients in the recipe, and the algorithm is the instructions on how to use those ingredients to come up with a good suggestion.
Precisely. And like with recipes, there are different kinds of algorithms for different tasks. Some learn from labeled data, some have to find patterns on their own, and some learn by trial and error, like when a computer learns to play a game.
So it's not just one type of AI algorithm, it's a whole range of approaches to making machines smart.
Exactly. And the field is constantly growing, with new algorithms and ways of learning being developed all the time.
It's amazing the possibilities with all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's recap. APIs are the messengers, letting applications communicate.
Right.
Microservices are the building blocks, making software flexible and scalable.
Yep.
And AI algorithms are the brains behind intelligent machines, learning and evolving to solve all kinds of problems.
And what's really fascinating is how these concepts are all interconnected.
Yeah, you see how they all kind of play a role in the bigger picture of technology.
Absolutely. And they're all shaping the way we interact with technology in our daily lives.
It makes you wonder, what's next? What's coming down the line with all this?
Right. Like, how will these things continue to evolve and change the world?
Crazy to think about. Well, there you have it. We did a deep dive into complex IT,
Yeah.
and hopefully it all makes a little more sense now.
It's all about breaking it down, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to keep exploring these topics. There's always more to learn.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Stay curious. You never know what you might discover.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.